Okay, good morning and welcome once again to West Mersey, where for once I'm not going out to the packing shed. I've got a wedding going on over there today, so we've got paying customers, which is good. And I'm going out this morning to Ray Island, which is behind me, and Cobmarsh Island, which is kind of in front of me. Tide's coming in, but they're not particularly high tide, so I've got to do Cobmarsh Island first, because Ray Island is quite muddy, so it needs to be around high tide. It's about 8:30 at the moment, and high tide's around about 11:30, so do Cobmarsh first, and then over to Ray Island. So this boat here, Catatonic, it's been here for years. There's never any sign of life on it. It kind of just looks like it's been abandoned, which is a bit strange because I assume that somebody's paying to keep it moored here. And there was tale, folklore of it being used for drug running and being seized by the authorities, and all sorts of tale, and who knows whether any of it is true or not. Bit of an ugly thing, really, if you ask me. And here we have a concrete barge. I don't know how old this is, but it's been here as long as I can remember. And it's, as you can see, it's used by the fishermen, and they've got lobster pots on there and whatever. But apparently, before my time, concrete was quite popular for barges, I think in particular, because metal was in short supply, so they used concrete. I think it's steel reinforced, and actually you can see excuse me, I'm trying to talk. The channel that I'm in at the moment is called Bessam Fleet. Okay, welcome to Cobmarsh Island. There's a sign here. What does that say? Edgar Island. I don't know what that's all about. I'll have to Google that. That might have floated here from somewhere. It's not Edgar Island. This is definitely Cobmarsh Island. So you can see the packing shed in the distance. And until a couple of weeks back, there would have been a lot of birds over here, but they've all fledged now, so I tend to avoid this until around about this time of year. Anyhow, the idea is to operate on 40, and I've dragged the kayak up here because we've got some posts here. These are all part of a long decayed brushwood fence. They're convenient for lashing my my pole to for the dipole. And this bank that you see over here, this is actually part of the recharge. So this was dumped here by a suction dredger to help protect the Mersey Harbour from erosion. And the locals, you can see sort of vegetation sort of starting to take hold on it, which is good. And some of the locals call that New Cobmarsh, because it is actually an island. When the tide comes in, I'll be able to paddle this side and go out to Ray Island. But anyway, right, so enough of that waffle. I'm going to set up here and see how we get on, make a few contacts. Time is now just gone 9:05. I never normally show the setup because it's really sort of generally too busy setting up, but because I've got this pole lashed to this stake here, it actually provides an opportunity to do this quite easily. So at the centre of the dipole here, this is a link dipole that I made up myself. The wire that I'm using is DX wire, which has got a sort of reinforced Kevlar to sort of stop it stretching. I'll put a link to that in the description. And the balun at the centre here is 1-to-1 SOTA beams balun, rated at 125 watts. And the coax is Messi and Poloni Airborne 5, so it's very lightweight. And I've just got it on a short pole here. This is actually a decathlon pole with the top sort of sections missing. So although it's actually going to be quite low to the ground, a bit of a cloud warmer, my experience tells me it works quite well. So I use this sort of setup quite often, and it's got links in the dipole for 40, 20 and 17, but I'm going to concentrate on 40. I'll probably tie one of the ends off down here to one of these stakes, and then I've got some fiberglass tent poles that I can put in at the other end, and I should probably be able to just nestle it in amongst the undergrowth. Okay, I just had a bit of a disaster almost. That the front of the radio was in this little pouch. This is actually a fishing pouch of some description, and it actually fell into the footwell here, and water started coming in, so I got a little bit of water on the inside of the bag, which was actually where the VFO was, but a little bit of damp on the VFO, but that was fine. But yeah, if I'd have left that there much longer, that could have ended in disaster. Seawater and Yaesu FD857 don't mix. Yeah, sorry, the golf station beginning with golf again. Can you go again? I'm trying to do about 4 things at once, so go ahead.
Good morning, Chicken Cabin. Name the sound is Joe Juliet Oscar Echo. Joe Juliet Oscar Echo. And you're about a 557 into Ballyclare, County Antrim. Ballyclare, County Antrim. I got you, Kevin. I knew you were going to be active today. I thought it might be a little later, and I might miss you. But great to get you on Cobmarsh. You're about a 5.5 to 5.7, Kev, over.
CQ, 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 2 Echo 0, Whiskey Mike Golf Portable. 2 Echo 0, Whiskey Mike Golf Portable, calling CQ and standing by. Okay, well, worked 3 stations there on 40. So I just got the end, this end here, just tied into the bush up there. And I'm getting out okay. So pole's leaning over somewhat, but it seems to be doing okay. I'm going to move on to 20 now, so just rearrange the links. I did put a post on the Worked All Britain Facebook group to say that I was active and the frequency I was on, but nobody, I called CQ for quite a while and nobody came up. So anyway, I'm hoping when I go around to Ray Island, which is over yonder there, it'll be a little bit more sheltered. Yeah, you're also 5'9", good strong signal. 7-3, ciao ciao. One contact there on 20 into Italy. So if I go now, by the time I get there, I'll be getting on for sort of just after 10, probably about 10:45. It'll take me about half an hour to get there, and then hopefully I can get up onto the island, ready for high tide. So I've just got to pack everything up. So this is all that there is between these 2 islands. See the tide pulling me in, a bit more sheltered around here. Okay, I'm now in Ray Channel. Still going, it's quite a slog this. So I'm going to use this pole here, post here, which I knew was here, to lash the dipole to. And just hop on a little bank here, but I'm going to make this quite quick, I think. Okay, now I've set up, and I haven't got the ATU in line, and I just turn the radio on, and I'm getting a high SWR. Now the antenna is exactly the same as I had over on Ray Island, but it just shows you that all you need is sort of different ground, slightly different height, whatever, and it messes around with the SWR. So anyway, fortunately I bought the ATU, which is why I bring it, for exactly that reason. There you go, sorted.
2 Whiskey Mike Golf Portable, GW3PRC Portable. Good afternoon. You're 555, Kevin. 555, Kevin.
My full call, 2 Echo 0, Washington, Mexico, Germany. Last letter Germany, Roger.
Okay, Raven for the last letter Germany. No problem. Thanks for your call and good activity for you. Good weekend. Bye bye.
Yeah, the call center is Mike 7, Foxtrot X-ray Foxtrot. The name's Gordon. People call me Gordy, Gordy. I'm in the northeast coast of Scotland, in a small town called Nairn, right on the seafront there.
2 Echo 0 Whiskey Mike Golf Portable. Many thanks. Lovely signal 5 and 9 to me. This is Mike 0 and Charlie at Northern Paris Park.
Okay, that's 4 contacts in the log. It's just coming up to high tide now, and the wind has whipped up quite a bit. So I'm going to take everything down and head back, because once the tide sort of turns and starts getting a bit of speed on it, it could make for sort of tricky conditions, kind of a following sea, only for a very short sort of stretch, but I'm just erring on the side of caution. So there you go. This is Ray Island. I'll tell you a little bit more about Ray Island in a minute, actually. So anyway, a little bit about the island here, Ray Island. It's actually a tidal island. So the other side of here, I'll put a little map up to show you exactly where I am. But the other side of here, across the salt marshes, you can get over to the mainland. But this is the island is I think it's owned by the National Trust, but run by Essex Wildlife Trust, so it's a nature reserve. But in 1871, and I'm going in entirely by memory here, there was Sabine Baring Gould came to Mersey, and he was originally from a well-to-do sort of family in Devon, and he was a scholar and quite a prolific writer. He became the rector of East Mersey, which is sort of over in the direction we're heading there, and he was the rector there for 10 years. Amongst other things, he's famous for writing the hymn "Onward Christian Soldiers." Anyway, Mersey provided a setting for what a lot of people say is his best work of fiction, a book called Mahala. It's quite a sort of a dark novel, apparently. I've got a copy of it, and I've never got around to reading it. I'm going on holiday in a few weeks, and I might actually take it with me. And it's based on the people and sort of some of the characters that he met in and around Mersey. So Ray Island here, or the Ray, as it's often called, and Sunken Island, which is an island that I've activated sort of over near the packing shed, feature in the book. So there is speculation as to whether or not the characters are real. So the character Mahala, there's speculation as to whether that was actually a real person or not, and also whether or not there was a house on the island here itself, because apparently the book that I haven't read there's an opening passage that makes reference to a house being stood on the island, a small farmhouse built of wrecked timber, I think it referred to, and roofed with red roof tiles. So, and apparently there's archaeological evidence from a dig that was, or from sort of a survey that was carried out a little while back. So there was a building on here until sometime in the 18th century. And there's also sort of a heap of sort of rubble and whatnot, containing pottery fragments dating back to around 1450, so pretty old. And apparently there's also sort of terracotta sort of bits and pieces scattered around the island as well. So unfortunately I can't really go in there and explore because I haven't really got time. I want to get going, as I said before. As you can see, the sort of wind's whipping up a little bit there, so I want to sort of get going before the tide and the wind start working together in harmony and causing me problems. I think it'll be alright. I'm just sort of erring on the side of caution, really, particularly as I'm on my own. So let's get out of here. Okay, so I anticipate the journey back being a bit easier than the white one here. It's quite a strong wind behind me. Now, that wasn't as bad as I thought it could have been, and I say once the tide gets a bit of strength behind it, that could whip up quite a bit, but that was alright. I'm just ultra cautious. Well, maybe not ultra cautious, I'm just a bit cautious when I'm on my own particularly. But that was actually quite good fun, and I got back pretty quick as well.